Hello and welcome to today's session. Today we're going to talk a little bit about how we get ourselves in trouble causing lower back pain and what we can do in the moment and on your own to remedy some of the pain you might be experiencing. So most of the back pain that the majority of people experiences happens in the lower back, the lumbar spine. That's the part of the back that's the most mobile, and that's why we overuse it, and that's why we tend to injure this part of our back more frequently. There's some very simple things one can do in everyday life to protect the lower back. And number one is how to pick up things on the floor. Typically, if I asked you to pick something up, you would probably go like this. I don't even want to do it because it's already hurting my lower back. So rule number one, bend your knees, hinge at the hip. That's important because once you hinge at the hip, you make space in your lower back. And the more space you make there, the less pain you will experience or cause. Then it takes some leg strength, but with practice, you will get stronger, and then you can pick up whatever you have here. You can put things in a cupboard. And now, tricky part, something's behind you, don't twist. Just move around and pick it up. So rule number two, don't bend forward plus twist. That's the biggest reason for slipped disc injuries. It's moving forward with gravity and then twisting. So if you can't avoid those two things, you might help yourself quite a bit, stay out of back pain. Then if you already have back pain and it's pretty bad, then first things to do are ice the back 10 minutes at a time, take ibuprofen. And here are some simple things you can do to get yourself out of immediate back pain. So that it's not extremely excruciating where you can't move. In this case, again, ice. First, you lie down on a flat surface, flat hard surface I should say. Bend your knees, bring your arms out to the side, and then you drop both knees to one side and just stay here. Staying for extended amount of times is crucial to give your muscles time to release. Oftentimes when we injure our lower back, the muscles around the back will seize up and actually contribute to the pain. So staying here and letting go on one side at least 1 minute, more time if possible, and then slowly move to the other side. Very important to move slowly when we're working with our back. Any quick rash movement might add more strain to the back, and this is exactly what we want to avoid. And when you want to get up from the floor or out of your bed, you want to roll over completely onto your right side. And then push into one hand and this other hand to come up sideways so there's no strain on the lower back when you're getting up. So that should be another habit you might to employ. Now there's a couple more things I want to share with you that can be very effective. If you've gotten yourself in trouble in the lower back, you need to make as much space as possible. And a good way to do this standing up is to really engage your thighs strongly as you can and push them back. And then as a counter force, bring your tail down into neutral, push your sacrum in deeper, and I'm going to turn around so you can see this better. So the strong thighs are crucial. If you don't have strong thighs, you're just going to collapse and then you're going to compress the lower back again. So push the thighs back and then come into neutral. Bring your sacrum in as deeply as you can. Keep pressing the thighs back. And then once you're here, you can also try to lift from the lower ribs, bring your shoulders back. So now we're bringing mobility in the upper back and taking it out of the lower back. And this should give great relief. And this is an exercise, especially just the legs, you can do anywhere. When you're waiting in line, standing in your kitchen. Now the last exercise I want to share with you is what we call a modified downward dog. You could just use your wall. So you're going to start with your arms wide. You're going to turn your inner elbows towards the ceiling like so. Keep the chest open. Bend your knees and walk your feet back until your feet are straight under your hip and your back is in a tabletop position. So now you're in a reverse L shape and keep the knees bent so that again you can make space here by pushing the sit bones out. The tighter the hamstrings are, the more you will need to bend to get into the straight position. So keep them bent, keep pushing the sit bones back and try to reach forward from the lower ribs. Keep your head above the arms and then engage your shoulder blades. Find your shoulder blades, dig them deep into your upper back to find the concavity there. And then to come out safely, bend your knees more, always come up with a straight back. So no more rounding and no more bending forward. I hope this was helpful. If you would like to explore this pose in more detail, then go to my video about downward facing dog. Namaste.